Now, the COVID boom in puppy sales is over. More than over, it appears to have gone into reverse to a degree. Analysis of a website which advertises puppies and dogs for sale suggests there is now a surplus of would-be pets. Demand has fallen with the lifting of COVID restrictions and a reduction in the number of people who want a lockdown companion. But supply has also risen. Some breeders, it seems, did seek to cash in on the high prices fetched by puppies by increasing the number of litters. In all, 91,000 puppies and dogs were being advertised on the Pets for Home website this summer. At the same point last year, the figure was half that number. The surge in prices during lockdown saw some breeds of puppies rocket in value. That led to a sharp increase in puppy and dog thefts. Perhaps you remember the panic around that. The average price of a dog is now said to be about £1,800, down from more than £2,200 in the spring of this year. I know what you're wondering, what are the most sought-after breeds? Well, reportedly, they are Cavapoos. Do I pronounce that correctly? Yeah, OK. All will be explained. Dobermans, Cavalier King Charles Spaniels and Golden Doodles. Well, we don't have one of those, but we do have a French Bulldog, Mimi. There's Mimi. Hi, Mimi, who's sleepy at the moment. Her foster owner, Ira Moss, is with the rehoming charity All Dogs Matter. Mimi might rise from her slumber.
It's quite late for Mimi. She's only 12 weeks old. So
oh, wow.
Approximately.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when full size will be what, double that size?
Not double. She'll probably be the size of she's a French Bulldog, which is one of the breeds that I think should be on that list if it isn't. And she'll probably be the size of a Staffy.
OK,
yeah,
OK.
Staffy.
It looks like this is a classic example of economics at work. Suppliers kicked in, price falls. That's what happens in a functioning market.
Yeah.
How easy was it for the suppliers, the breeders in this case, to increase the number of litters and therefore the number of puppies?
I'm not sure how they increased. I think more amateur breeders were sort of getting in on the game. So I think people that weren't breeding. So we actually estimate that the price of, for example, a French Bulldog at the beginning of lockdown went up to about £5,000. Yeah, I know it's crazy. Who would have thought a dog would be worth £5,000? So I think what people were doing to get their money back on the price they paid for the dog, they were breeding off the dog that they had or bought. So that's why there were double the amount of dogs. I believe you can inject your dog with some kind of hormone to have more puppies.
Okay.
With Frenchies, for example, certain breeds need caesarean birth, so it's more expensive to breed from.
You need to charge a decent price to get your money back if you're getting into vets bills.
If that's what it's about. But of course, you know, all this money it's all sort of behind the scenes. It's all. It's not legitimate. It's not a nice trade. You're fueling a not particularly nice trade of, you know, we see at the charity the mums that are left behind, and you know, it's not great.
Because there was that old phrase in my childhood of your dog is for life and Christmas, wasn't there? That idea that it was a serious commitment you were entering into. Clearly, some people approached lockdown, the idea of wanting a companion, a bit more frivolously than you would have wished.
Yes.
There must be some people who got a dog in lockdown and suddenly became dog lovers.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. You know, it's just that I think it's almost become fashionable. Everyone's got a dog now. Even just entering the studio here, you know, the amount of dogs I saw, which you wouldn't normally see, and it's almost become fashionable to have a dog, and it's a huge commitment, as you know. If you work, people living in apartments, and
people are having fewer children.
People having few children. But we're getting. I mean, Mimi came back into us because she was bought from a family with young children. They thought, oh, great, she's a puppy, but she's got sharp teeth, and when she puppy mouths or goes to bite you, it hurts. So we found people, but ordinarily people would buy a dog or get a dog and bring it back to a charity because they paid, say, £500. But now, because they've paid so much money, they're not bringing them into the charities, they're reselling them. So a lot of these dogs are being passed around. The time they get to charities, they've had 3, 4, even 5 homes.
Because you're getting this constant churn.
So they start up at £5,000 and then they go down to £1,000.
There was that awful time, was it last summer? Maybe it was even before then, when people, dog owners, I'm a dog owner, you suddenly became newly neurotic. Whether you should just going to pop into Tesco's, I'll tie up the dog. No, I won't tie up the dog. I'll get my so-and-so to come and look after the dog while I go in and buy the whatever. And is that still around, that lingering sense of paranoia that somebody might have my dog away?
Yeah, I think, you know, instead of stealing maybe, again, before lockdown, a watch from somebody or a bike or a car, this dog is worth the price of possibly one of those items.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, you can get a second-hand VW Golf for the price of the dog in that bag.
Basically, people are paying the prices that we would have when we were kids for our first cars. So I think it's really important. Dogs have become commodities. It's really sad. We've made, by encouraging this trade, we've turned these guys into commodities and kittens.
We haven't encouraged it, have we?
Well, we have, because if you carry on paying those prices and you're encouraging unscrupulous breeders, we are fueling that trade by wanting and desiring, these guys.
Presumably you want more regulation and licensing.
Yeah.
Is that the way? So how would that work?
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about it. The pet industry and the charities have been talking about it for a long time, but I just don't think it's going to be happening. It's policing all these things, and I don't think that's going to happen. And even on a wider scale, even to take your dog to get an appointment at a vet at the moment, because there's so many more dogs, you can't even get appointments at vets.
Yeah.
Dog sitters at the moment, people are going on holiday now. They can't. Kennel spaces, dog minders, everyone's full. So the infrastructure hasn't almost been put in place for all the extra dogs that we've now got.
Ira Moss and Mimi.
Thank you.
I have to say, I've had dogs in studios before, and I've never thought of putting one in a bag. It really works.
It's because she's little, and she's only just had a second jab today.
Oh, lovely. Absolutely lovely. Ira, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.